Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the 3 Showtime cards that have been added to eFootball. It's a New Year's gift. We each get this token thingy in our inbox, and you can use that to select any of these 3 cards of your choosing, and you get a free Showtime card, which is nice. I did say I was going to do the Netherlands pack review next. I'd completely forgotten about this one, to be honest, so I'll do the Netherlands pack review after this one. That should go live over the next couple of days, I promise. But for now, yeah, I'm going to review these cards. Tomorrow there will be a live stream at some point. I'm not expecting a Player of the Week tomorrow because there's no maintenance or live update this week. But yeah, look out for a live stream tomorrow. But for now, I'll be looking at these 3 cards. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description for each of these 3 players. So if there's a particular 1 or 2 players that you want to hear about from these players, so click in the description. There'll be a link that will take you straight to them. And we're going to start with Endrick from Real Madrid. So he did eventually get his face scan. These cards are all double boosters, so each of these 3 cards does have a booster slot where you can put a booster in and get +1 on a few of these stats. But yeah, he's got his face scan. He's a deep lying forward, only standard form. He's a lefty. Skill wise, each of these 3 cards does have a Showtime skill, and Endrick has phenomenal finishing. So they've added phenomenal finishing, and one other thing to note with the skills on Endrick, if you haven't noticed already, is they have taken away Sombrero and they've given him soul control. So as far as I can see, that's what they've done for his GP card. So as well as giving him phenomenal finishing, I don't know if that's them suggesting that soul control somehow goes hand in hand with phenomenal finishing or with finishing in general, but that's what they look to have done. So no Sombrero, we've got soul control added and phenomenal finishing. He's obviously got first time shot, long range, acrobatic, good selection shooting skills. He's got heading as well, even though he's not a big guy. But yeah, good selection skills for a striker in general, but he's a deep line forward. We can have a look at how good he is in eFootball Hub and see how well he suits that playing style and how good he is in general. So, where is eFootball Hub? It's right there. Here he is. So let's max him out. Get him all fully boosted. So, is he any good? It's pretty decent. To quickly compare him to other versions of him, because you've had a few versions of Endrick at this point. There was one in a La Liga pack. There was a kind of Spanish League pack. Interestingly, that one had, when you kind of max that one out and get it all boosted and auto-allocated, had a bit more acceleration and balance compared to this one, which is interesting since this is the Showtime card. A bit more physical contact as well, but this one's got more kicking power and ball control and curl as well. So a few higher, a few lower. This one on the whole is a bit better though, obviously. Just a few better on most attributes really. The other 2 versions we've had of Endrick so far, special ones. They had 2 Player of the Week ones. There was a Champions League Player of the Week. That one had better dribbling than this one, had a bunch more points on dribbling. But this one's got more dexterity, so the attacking awareness, the acceleration and the balance, also set pieces, and of course on the whole it is better than that one. This is the best version of Endrick, it goes without saying really. And the other Player of the Week from a regular Player of the Week pack just had kind of less of the dexterity attributes, again awareness, acceleration, balance, and less kicking power as well. So yeah, a few ways in which this card's significantly better than other versions. In general, it's just a bit better on the whole. But like I say, with the Spanish League one, a bit more acceleration, balance, and physical contact, which is interesting. But on the whole, this is the best version we've had. Compared to his GP card, the biggest boost is mainly on his kicking power, his attacking awareness, his ball control, his passing as well. Low enough to pass, had a nice boost as well. And yeah, he's a pretty nice looking card. He's obviously pretty nippy. He's not got amazing speed, but he's a deep line forward. Quite annoyingly, I know I always say I don't like the playing style. It doesn't mean it's bad. It's just my personal feeling. It's just what I find in the game. I just don't really get along with deep line forwards particularly well. And as I mentioned a couple minutes ago, one of the questions with this guy is going to be how well do his attributes and his general kind of profile match up with his play style, deep line forward. And I don't think they match up very well, to be honest, because the one area where you need him to be better is passing. As a deep line forward, he's going to be dropping deep and getting involved in the build-up, and he can't pass. The passing attributes, yes, they boosted them, but they're still poor, and he doesn't have any passing skills, so that's a frustration. But it depends on how you're going to use him, obviously. When he does drop deep and kind of pick the ball up outside the area, you could just ping shots away because he's got great finishing there in the 90s, kicking powers in the 90s as well, and he's got first-time shot, long-range shooting. So for some people it might be fine. You might not be too bothered about the passing if you're just careful enough when you get him on the ball. If he drops deep and gets on the ball, you just focus on shooting from distance. It could be great fun to have. He's certainly got some nice attributes here. I think his overall profile probably is better suited to being maybe as a fox in a box, to be honest. But yeah, like I say, as a deep line forward, I don't think he matches that playing style very well. I think if this card was a fox or a goal poacher, it could have been really, really interesting, and I'd have probably got it without much hesitation. But as it is, I'm not sure. But Like I say, some people might get a lot of joy out of this card. It just depends on how you know, what kind of play style you like on your strikers and what kind of profile you like. In terms of how he's trained, if you wanted to improve that passing a bit, make him maybe a bit more suited to that deep line forward playing style. What can we do here? I did mess around with a few builds before I started doing the video. I'm going to get one more on the low body, because you see with the low body there, without a booster applied to it, when those attributes get to the 84-85 mark, it's 85 where they start going up by 3 instead of 2. So that attribute there, when you put one more on low body, it goes up by 2, not 1. So I think that's worth doing. Get him a bit more speed there. We've got that low pass up to 70. He's reasonably tidy on the ball. The awareness and finishing both at 90. Balance at 90. Great kicking power. He's got a little bit of physical strength about him as well for a little guy. So yeah, you can't do a great deal with the passing. If you really want to put more points on the passing, you could, but then you'd be sacrificing points elsewhere, which I don't think you can really afford to do. So for me, that might be the best kind of natural build for him with his playing style. And it's a pretty tidy one. You do have the second booster. With this build here, I don't think it makes a great deal of difference what you do with that booster. There aren't any I really want to desperately nudge up by 1 to kind of hit the 90 mark, for example. I think, to be honest, I'll probably just stick it on passing. Where is it there? Just slightly nudges passing up. Not going to make a huge amount of difference. You get the curl up to 80, which is nice. But yeah, I'd probably do that. To give him a slightly different build as a centre forward, if you were just going to accept that his passing's rubbish, not bother putting any points in his passing, what else could we do here? Not just shooting up a bit. You could take that one back from aerial, get another one on lower body. You could do that. So that way, yeah, in fact, with the booster now, I think ball carrying would then be a great choice. So if you then apply the ball carrying booster, you can get his speed up to 90. His acceleration's already in the 90s. That kicking power's at 95. Yeah, it's not a huge difference. You're really just kind of getting a bit more pace and kicking power there at the expense of the passing. It's what you think is going to make more difference, and that'll vary, depends on what you prioritize. You might prefer the passing, but you might quite like that extra speed on in there. So that could be another way to build him as a striker. One other thing you could do with Endrick, I don't think you'd want to use him on the left as a left footer. He's certainly not going to be putting many crosses in from the left. There's an SS when he's already a deep line forward. If you want him dropping off the attack, I mean, you might as well just have him as a centre forward. There's an SS, if anything, is going to put more emphasis on his passing ability, so I wouldn't do that myself. But wide right as an inverted winger, he's a left footer. That could be an option. So if you're going to put him wide right, what could we do here? You could do something like that. Something like that, maybe. Yeah, so wide right, maybe something like that. Get the speed and acceleration to 90, and that's with the ball carrying booster again. Yeah, pardon me, hang on. I'm going to focus on the... Yeah, I think I'll do that. That one last increase in dexterity again. You're going from 86 to 88 and attacking awareness and balance. Get an increase of 2 with that last one. It's difficult, this card. I'm not saying it's not a good card, but it's quite frustrating trying to get all the attributes as high as I want them to be. It just feels like there's always 1 or 2 that aren't quite where I want them to be. But again, yeah, with the booster, if you use him from wide right, good awareness, pretty good in the ball. Got that dribbling up to 88, which is nice. Again, that last increase go up 2 from 86 to 88. So I think it's worth going that high on dribbling if you're going to use him wide right. Finishing still at 91, curler 80. If you gave him long range curler, bearing in mind what he's already got down here, we've got first time shot, acrobatic and dipping, but you've got long range shooting. If you gave him long range curler as well, coming off that right flank with a bit of pace about him, decent balance, pretty tidy on the ball, finishing 91, curl 80, kicking power in the 90s, add long range curler into the mix. I think as a forward on the right hand side, cutting onto his left foot, he could be pretty dangerous. That could be an interesting way to use him if you want a position trainer for wide right. And if you weren't gonna, if you feel like as a wide forward playing wide right, if you feel like you don't need quite as many points on finishing, if you nudged a few away from there, and just slightly increase the dribbling, we've got enough to go 1 higher low body there. What you could do, you see here that speed's just shy of 90, dribbling just shy of 90. You stick ball carrying back on again, you can get both the dribbling and the speed up to the 90 mark. So then we got that pace, and then we got his dribbling up to 90. Yes, the finishing's dipped a little bit below 90. We lost a few points off there, but to make him that a little bit better with his dribbling, if he was a wide forward, that could be worth doing if you stick the ball carrying booster on him. So again, long range curler. If you do that, long range curler, you position training for wide right with long range curler and the skills he's got, the ability he's got, he would not have an active playing style wide right. That's one thing that appeals to me personally, because I personally don't fancy a deep line forward as a centre forward. And in some rare cases, if they got a really good profile for it, I don't mind it. But yeah, for me personally, I don't really like it. If you do, through the centre might be great for you with this card. But if you don't like a deep line forward, that's one other thing you might want to consider. Training for wide right. Yes, the passing sucks, but you can make him pretty dangerous with the pace, the dribbling. He's got a low centre of gravity as well. He's pretty short, good balance, good on the ball, and certainly the finishing, and especially if you gave him long range curler. So as a wide right forward, no active playing style, if you position training in that position, give him long range curler, that could be a very nice option for you. And again, he's got that, you can't see it here of course, but you see it back in game. He's got phenomenal finishing. So yeah, I don't think this is an amazing card, but certainly if the profile and the playing style will match up well enough for you through the centre as a striker, it could be a great one to pick up. And also wide right, that could also be a very nice option for you. I think it could be very effective there without an active playing style. So a couple of ways you could use this card, and depending which way you use it, I think for a lot of people it could be a really fun card to pick up. Next up we have Darwin Núñez. So Darwin, of course, has his face scan, bit out of date. He's got a little goatee beard type of thing going on, isn't he now? Or at least a moustache. Unwavering form, apparently. He's a goal poacher, Núñez. Skill-wise, they have added bullet header, but also aerial superiority. So you might not notice that. Obviously, we know these have all got a showtime skill, but along with bullet header, they've also added aerial superiority. So obviously, aerial superiority goes hand in hand with bullet header and heading. Another reason why I wonder the addition of soul control on Endrick is them suggesting that soul control is important for shooting. But yeah, either way, Darwin has been given bullet header and aerial superiority. He already has heading. He's got he's not got acrobatic finishing. I was looking for that, so you might want to give him acrobatic finishing when he complete the set in terms of getting on the end of crosses. But yeah, he's got his first time shot, long range shooting. Really good selection of skills for a goal poacher. But yeah, let's have a look at him on eFootball Hub. We'll see how good this card is. So maximum level, all boosted up, pretty tidy looking. So the first thing that I'm thinking with Darwin Núñez, the one concern, I've used one or two versions of Núñez in the past. He's pretty clunky on the ball. He doesn't have the best balance. So you see the balance isn't great there, and on the ball there, the on the ball attributes aren't great. But as a goal poacher, if you just wanted to be getting in behind the defense and finishing chances, and of course getting on the end of crosses, which is the one thing they seem to want this card to be good at, he's got some good attributes. He got the awareness at 90, got the finishing at 90. He's got great pace, speed 91, acceleration 95. Pretty good kicking power. Stamina's great down there. Obviously the balance isn't great, but jumping 84, physical 83, heading 85. He's not always this good in the air. So we've had a bunch of versions of Núñez by now. There's been a bunch of Player of the Week cards, and they've all got pretty similar profiles. I think they're all, at least most of them, are goal poachers. And you look at how well the attributes are. Yes, this card is better than any of them, but the kind of balance of the attributes is pretty similar. They're not a million miles away. There's one national team international week Player of the Week card from when he played for Uruguay one week where they actually gave it aerial superiority, but the jumping on that card is 75 fully boosted, so clearly not going to be anywhere near as good in the air as this guy. He's got a much bigger leap on him. If you look at the trainable versions of Núñez, the best trainable one I can see is from some kind of Legend or Showtime box. And honestly, there's not a huge difference overall. You look through all the attributes and there's not really a big difference. Yes, this card's better, but the big difference really is in the heading and the jumping, where they've really boosted this card. And it's a similar story if you look at the nominating contract one. I'm guessing quite a few of you probably got the nominating contract version of Núñez. A lot of the free-to-play guys for sure will have that version of him if you like Núñez. If you're looking at the nominating contract version of him and comparing this one, again, not a huge difference. Obviously, the best trainable one is better than the nominating contract one, but the nominating contract one's still not a million miles away from this one, and it's actually got 5 higher on balance. So that's one thing to take note of there. If you've got that nominating contract version of Darwin Núñez, the balance is about 5 higher on that nominating contract one, which is quite interesting. But apart from that, this one is better. Like I say, it's not a massive difference, but the big difference again is the heading and the jumping. They've really boosted those. That's really where they're putting the emphasis on this Núñez card. So when you look at the GP card and where where the big boost is, what they've really changed with the attributes, the heading and jumping are really by far the biggest update, but they have also given a nice boost on a few attributes, the dribbling and tight possession, which does help because he's not great on the ball. His finishing as well, that has had a bunch of points put on, and really interestingly, they've increased his defensive awareness and tackling by a whole bunch of points, which is fantastic. So yeah, he's better at defending than he normally is. But yeah, on the whole, good version of Núñez. But like I've just mentioned a few times there, it's the heading and the jumping. They've really beefed up his heading and jumping attributes. They've thrown in aerial superiority and bullet header, which you don't see in your football hub. So you've basically got a good version of Núñez who's also really pretty strong in the air, much better in the air than he normally is. So in terms of how he's trained here, I don't think I'd change an awful lot in the auto allocation, to be honest. It's not often I would just leave a card with the auto allocation, but the thing is, you look at where he's weak as a goal poacher. The only areas I'd really want to be beefing him up a bit on the ball and balance. But the thing is, where are you going to spare the points from? Because I don't want to lose any points from his finishing. That's where he's got 10. You obviously can't afford to lose money from on the ball. Dexterity, I don't want to dip below 90 on attacking awareness, and I certainly don't want to dip any lower on the balance. Lower body 8, would I want to go any lower? Not really. You could free up a couple of points maybe. Aerial strength, he could lose some from there, but this card is all about his aerial ability. If you're going to take all those points away, then you might as well just go with another version of Núñez. And even then, you're not making it that much better on the ball. So yeah, I think honestly this card, I would actually be tempted to just stick with the auto allocation. When it comes to the booster, maybe just making him a bit better on the ball, give him some ball carrying maybes, or maybe technique, something like that. Yeah, technique maybes. I would probably just do that if I'm honest. I think that's just about as good as any build really. And the only other kind of build that I would suggest is that if you were going to just say accept that he's not good on the ball, forget the second booster for now. If you were just going to say okay, he's not great on the ball, might as well just take all those points away. And if all you're going to do with Núñez is just spam crosses in and just make the most of the fact they've made him really strong in the air, then what you could do is you could just beef up his aerial. And if you went all the way up to, hang on, we're going to use goalkeeper 1 here. If you put 4 on there, yeah, that does it. So you can get his jumping up to 90. Nice. What does that give him for his aerial reach? 275.5. So that's not that amazing, to be fair. I like how it gives you the individual numbers there. So his neck length is 5, shoulder width is 7, excellent. But yeah, jumping like 275, that is good. It's not amazing. You know, the strikers who are really amazing in the air. I know that Jose Lopez from Palmeiras, the player of the month one. I think player of the week Turan possibly. There are some strikers who get about 280, real beasts in the air. But if you get this guy up to 90 on jumping, he's at least 275-ish. So that is a good leap he's got on him. Decent physical contact, decent heading. And of course, he's got heading, he's got bullet header, which you can't see here, and he's got aerial superiority. So he's going to be pretty good in the air. You still got your awareness and you're finishing at 90. Still got good pace as well. There aren't many strikers who are very strong in the air and very quick. And with that goal poacher playing style as well, it's a very interesting profile. But as I mentioned, where he made a sacrifice is on the ball, where he's already not great. So you're going to have to be very careful when you get him on the ball. If you go with a build like this, you get him on the ball, just be careful, get rid of it, play a simple pass, don't take risks. But that's just something else you could do. So like I say, that's one build you could do if you really want to focus on his aerial ability. You're still keeping a whole load of pace and you still got the awareness and finishing at 90, but you can get his jumping up to 90 there. You can make him great in the air as well. So that could be a nice build for you. And in fact, you've still got the second boost as well. And with that second booster, what's it really worth putting that on? You take 1 off dexterity and get that back, maybe striker's instinct. Is that going to do it? Yeah, that gives, yeah, striker's instinct. And then you got 3 points left. Ooh, stick him back on the ball, to be honest. Or you could get his pass up to 70. It's not going to make a huge difference. These second boosters really don't make a huge difference to me. I don't find them that exciting, but you could do that. At least you get your pass up to 70 there. So yeah, a couple ways you could build him. You could do that. But like I say, with the auto allocation, I think that works fairly well as well. Good all-round goal poacher with some pace and aerial ability. He can certainly take chances. So yeah, in a nutshell, you've got a good version of Núñez, who's a lot better in the air than he normally is. So if you're a fan of Núñez, this could be a really exciting card for you. And if you just like a striker who's good in the air, but also got a bit of pace and who's able to finish, then could be a very effective striker for you. One other thing I would throw into the mix, and this is just my personal thing, but I don't find goal poachers are that effective if you're putting a lot of crosses and you're trying to get strikers in the end of crosses. The most effective playing style for me personally is Fox in the box. I just find they time their runs the best. Whether that's the way I play the game, whether that's the playing style, I usually play long ball counter or out wide, and my formation, it could be anything. But for me personally, I find Fox in the box is the best for getting in the crosses. So with the goal poacher playing style, and as much as he's good in the air, not being amazing in the air, even with bullet header and aerial, It doesn't really excite me that much, this card, as an aerial threat, but if Goal Poacher does work for you for getting the undercrosses, then, like I say, with the auto allocation or the build I did to beef up his aerial ability, if he works for you, it could be a really, really strong striker to pick up, and obviously he's got that bullet header skill, which is still fairly rare, so yeah, if he works for you, if you're a Núñez fan, it could be a really, really strong card to pick up. And the last of these 3 Showtime cards is Warren Zaïre-Emery. Feels like I was talking about him just the other day, and that's because I was. I reviewed him in the current, I always forget the name of it, National Team Player Pack Selection thingy. He's in that pack at the moment if you want to spend some coins on him. Obviously this one's going to be a bit better. It's another double booster Showtime card. He's got his face scan, only standard form. Yeah, let's jump over to eFootball Hub. How good is this Zaïre-Emery card? So, if you compare him to other versions, we'll get maxed out, fully boosted first. So it's an interesting one, this one. If you look at all the other versions, feature versions of him, as far as I can see, this one's actually got a few less points on his ball control and tight possession, which is bizarre on a Showtime version. He's also not quite got as much acceleration as other versions, only 1 or 2 points off, but quite interesting that compared to other versions. You'd think he'd be better in just about every way. Where he is better, he's got a bit more kicking power than other versions, a bit more stamina, a bit more physical contact as well, but primarily it's pretty obvious it's the passing. They've really beefed up his passing. If we just momentarily go back to the game to look at his skills there, because you can't see the Showtime skills on eFootball Hub, but they have given him phenomenal pass. Very interesting in this. They've given him phenomenal pass, but he still doesn't have through passing. So yes, we've got one touch pass, we've got weighted pass, low lofted pass. Now we've got phenomenal pass thrown into the mix, but we still don't have through passing. So you would think they would throw that in somewhere to make room for phenomenal pass. They've got rid of dipping shot. It looks like dipping shot's been taken away to make room for phenomenal pass. You would think they could take something else out to make room for through passing, because, you know, if they're going to give Darwin Núñez aerial superiority to go with bullet header, if they're giving Endrick sole control alongside phenomenal finishing, you'd think they could maybe get rid of, I don't know, I know a lot of the dribblers would gasp if I say it, but you could get rid of double touch, you could get rid of cut behind and turn maybes, throw in through passing. Bit of a strange one to me, but if you do get this card, I think it's fair to say you're going to be using it quite a bit, so I would definitely consider trying to put through passing on there to really complete the set of passing skills. He's got interception, slide and tackle, fighting spirit, so on the whole, great section skills there for a centre mid box to box, but yeah, through passing, quite strangely, still absent, but we'll just jump back over to eFootball Hub. So yeah, it's obviously the best version of Zaïre-Emery that we've had, but like I say, there are a few attributes where he's actually a little bit lower than other cards, which is very strange. But and then one other thing as well, the latest one, the one I reviewed just recently in that current national pack, on the auto allocation, for whatever reason, they've gone a few higher on. I think it's on lower body, and they've got the speed up a bit higher on that one. No, not lower body, sorry, on defending. I got confused. I was just trying to read my notes there. I'd read the wrong thing. So yeah, defending. Pretty similar to other versions of him with the defending attributes, but that current one that's in the national team pack, whatever it's called, on auto allocation, they've gone a few higher. So on this one, they've put 4 on defending. I think it's 7. They got up to 7 on defending on that one. So he ends up with higher defending attributes. So that's just because they've allocated more points to it. So yeah, that's about it for in terms of comparing the packs. But in terms of speed, I was going to mention speed just because the one in the France pack, when we had that France pack a while ago with the Griezmann legend card, that one's actually got a few more on speed than this one. It had the speed boosted compared to this card. So that's another thing just to keep in mind when you're comparing all the different attributes. But yeah, like I say, as much as a few attributes are quite strange, and like with ball control and tight possession being lower than they normally are, when you'd think they'd be higher, on the whole, it is obviously the best version of Zaïre-Emery that we've had. But that is mainly because they've really beefed his passing up. That's where he's had the biggest boost from his GP card. Big boost on his passing attributes. Physicals as well, but he's a bit stronger physically than normal. But if you look at his GP card and auto allocation, it's actually better on the ball. But again, it's because there are more points allocated to dribbling on his GP card. So he's not actually better on the ball. They just allocated more of the training points. So yeah, that is a strange one that they've not made him better on the ball. But on the whole, like I say, mainly because of the passing, this is the best version of Zaïre-Emery that we've had. And it's really a question of how you're going to build him, how you're going to use him, because as when I was reviewing the version of him that's in that current national team pack, you've got a bunch of positions there. Yes, you've got CMF and DMF, that's what most people are going to look at, but you could try position training for attacking mid, you could make him a wide mid, you could make him a right back as well. So I'll just start off with a few builds as a centre midfielder. So the concern really, if you're looking at where he needs to be beefed up, that attacking awareness is horrible at 69. Defensively, I'd like to at least get the tackling up to 80. Ideally, I'd like them all up to 80, but we'll see. It's going to depend on what you consider important. If you're not too worried about the defending, if you've got 1 or 2 defensive mids and command destroyers behind him, you can happily leave points off the defending. That's fine. Would be nice to have a bit more physical strength, but it's not too bad. Again, depends how you're going to use him. So as an all-round build, if we just got that physical contact beefed up a little bit, you could start. I mean, the one place you can spare some points is obviously passing. You don't need the passing that high. It's just the way I personally see it, but I don't notice a lot of difference in passing when you start getting right up to into the 90s. I aim for about 90 odd. You'll know that if you've seen me doing my builds, my training guides, whatever. But yeah, let's get some attacking awareness on him as well as physical contact. Got 10 points there. I'm going to nudge that tackling up to 80, and then we've got 8 left, so I guess that's 6 on aerial. Ooh, nice. So we get right up to the 80 mark on physical contact. So I think that's a much nicer build, to be honest. So we've not touched him on the ball. We're still all right on the ball, not amazing. We've got nice passing still, even if we're taking a bunch of points away from there. But we've got the attacking rates into the 70s. It's still not great at 73. Tackling's up to the 80 mark, which is nice. Physical contact's up to the 80 mark, and he's still got good balance as well. Athletically, he's got pretty decent pace for a centre mid. Great stamina. So yeah, as an all-round build, you might like that. If you weren't so bothered about the physical contact, you might want to just beef up the defensive, so you're more conservative trying to get these up to the 80 mark. If you just went down to, I think, 2 there, yeah, you could just do that. So you could just shift some points straight from physical contact onto defensives, then you're 80 plus and all the defensives there. As with all these suggestions I'm going to put to you, it just depends on how you're going to use him. For me personally, a box-to-box midfielder, I have a double pivot. 99 times out of 100 I have a double pivot in my team in a 4-4-2. I like them both to be all-rounders, and I like them both to be 80 plus in their defenses. I like them to be able to do a bit of everything. So for me personally, I'd probably do that, but it just depends on how you want to use him. If you want your centre mid box-to-box to be a bit more offensive, and certainly this guy with his main strength being his passing, you may well want to do that. So what you could do then, you could just nudge a few points away from defending. I'll do an all-out attacking midfield build in a moment, but as a more attacking box-to-box centre mid, what would we do? Nudge some of these up. Maybe just do that. Not a massive difference, but just nudge that again with the dexterity. You see that increase of 1 on dexterity? It actually nudges his acceleration and his balance both up by 2 there to 88 from 86. Yeah, and likewise with the dribbling, there you got not the dribbling, but the dribbling set of, I don't know why they don't just call that on the ball. It's so confusing. You've already got an attribute called dribbling. Why don't they just call it on the ball? It just confuses stupid people like me. But yeah, the ball control, I should say, goes up by 2 with that last increase. So yeah, as more of an attack-minded centre mid, but still with a little bit of defensive ability, and still with a bit of physical strength as well. That could be a nice build as well. If we, just a second, right, attacking mid. If we abandon all the defending and we think about maybe position, and you could even just do this as a centre mid build, to be honest. But as a box-to-box, that playing style will be active at centre mid. So I'm going to treat this next build as an attacking midfield build, and I'm just going to assume you'd be position training for attacking midfield, and he'll be playing there without an active playing style. So we'll do away with all the defending skills. Don't need that anymore. We'll get his shooting up to the 70 mark, because in the 60s is not great. What else are we going to do? We're going to lose a bit of speed. I'm going to have to do that to make way for some of these other increases. Yeah, so you could do that. So you got nicer on the ball there. Passing still at 90 plus there, finishing up to the 70 mark, which still isn't great, but it's better. We've nudged that attacking awareness up a bit. We've got his balance up to 89, acceleration up to 89. And then with that second booster there, what you could do, you could give him, I'm looking at dribbling, acceleration, balance. Can we get 2 of those? We can get a couple of those to 90. So with ball carrying, you can get him up to 90 for dribbling and 90 for balance. As an attack midfielder, I think that could be a pretty nice build. He's going to have great passing, especially if you give him the through passing skill. Remember, he really needs that. And in fact, I'll give him outside curler as well. I didn't really talk about that with Núñez either, did I? I think outside curler work on him, and probably Endrick as well, actually. But yeah, outside curler and through passing, I would definitely put on Zaïre-Emery. But yeah, with that second boost on ball carrying there, all these 90 plus, you still got a little bit of defensive ability and physical strength there. The balance at 90, stamina at 90. That could be a pretty nice attacking midfielder, to be honest. So that is an option for you. as a wide midfielder, if you want to position training for right mid or left mid, what could you do? I think he needs a bit more speed more than anything for wide mid. So I'll just deactivate that booster for now. In fact, ball carrying is probably what we need out wide, isn't it? So I'm just going to I'm going to work on the assumption he's still using the ball carrying booster in that second slot there. So if we take we'll leave the shooting on there for now. Passing not so important out wide. It's a bit of a shame when he's meant to be so good at passing. But if we're going to use him as a wide mid, I would just do that. I think. Yeah, just get his speed up into the mid 80s there. Still great on the ball. Passing not so important out wide. And yeah, you could use him on the right. Give him pinpoint crossing. If you're going to use him right midfield with pinpoint crossing, could be pretty decent. I mean, if you do that right midfield, you might want to go back to the way it was and focus more on the passing. Not so much speed, but you'd have a fantastic cross if you gave him pinpoint crossing. But certainly left midfield, if you wanted to position training for left midfield, very nice on the ball. Decent passing for a wide man. If you gave him long range curler, a bit of pace about him, could be an option left midfield. I'm not sure many people would want to do that, to be honest, but it is an option for you. Could do that. And then couple more to do. So defensive midfield as a defensive midfielder, so we'll go back to putting some points on defensive. So passing, we're going to get some points back on passing. We got to 88 for passing, for low pass. What else are we going to do? Take that dribbling down, because we're going to have to make him good at defending if he's going to be a defensive mid. Where are I? Did I take that speed back down a little bit? Get physical contact up to 80. How good can we get his defending? Ooh, right. In fact, I've still got the ball carrying booster active, so I'm seeing tackling up to 89. So for that second booster now on a defensive midfield build, I'm thinking shutdown. Bosh, you can get his tackling up to 90. Hello, that's actually quite interesting, to be honest. So he's not got his physical contact 80 is decent, but it's not amazing. If you want to, if you're thinking of the likes of Vieira, Makelele, and players like that. Obviously, he's not going to be able to do the job, that kind of job that those players do without being more physically imposing. But if you want him as a kind of almost like a deep line playmaker who's quite strong at defending, who can make tackles and interceptions for you, if you were to give him man marking and blocker, building like this, giving that shutdown booster there, strong defensive there, tackling up to the 90 mark, still got very nice passing for a defensive midfielder. Yes, we've sacrificed a bit on the ball. He's not great on the ball, but we're looking at him as a defensive midfielder here. Getting that physical contact to the 80 mark. Still got decent pace there for a defensive mid. Decent amount of bounce as well. Good stamina. Could be an option. I'm not sure many people want to do that. This is a midfielder where it's all about the passing. I think for most people, you're going to look at the fact he's so good at passing and what he's good at. You're going to want him further up the field. But if you did want to use him as deeper on the pitch and as a kind of deep line playmaker, similar to an orchestrator, albeit that box-to-box playing style, pardon me, will still be active as a defensive midfielder, so he's still going to get up and down the pitch unless you put the defensive instruction on him. But yeah, like I say, I don't think many people would want to do this, but just to show you what you could do as a defensive midfielder, that certainly would be a very viable build, and I think he could be pretty nice in that position, to be honest. And then speaking of ways you could build him that probably not many people would want to do, you could make him a right back. I did this, I think, when I was reviewing him in that national pack. So as a right back, we start off by just taking all of these technical and attacking ones away. As a right back, what could we do? You've got to give him some speed. That's one thing you've definitely got to do. I think I know what I'm going to do with the booster here. I'm going to leave the speed at 89. We need a few technicals. We've got to make him a bit better on the ball, actually, haven't we? So, can we give him some physical contact as well? Yeah, we can. So, as a right back, that could be a decent option. Again, I'm not sure many people would look at this card and think, yeah, that's my new right back. But he's already semi-pushing at right back, so you can position training for right back. And in terms of that booster, well, shutdown actually gives you speed, doesn't it? So maybe shutdown again as a right back. That could be an interesting right back. So we do get the speed up to 90. We boost some of his defensive attributes again. He's reasonable on the ball. A very nice low and lofted pass for a fullback. And over on the right here, physical contact's decent, balance is really good, stamina's outstanding for a fullback. That's an option. Again, I don't think many people want to do that, but if you did look at this guy, I mean, one thing when you look at these cards and you're choosing your card, and I've been looking at these cards trying to choose for myself, is that you look at what options you've already got and how much you're going to use them. In the case of this card, there's no French League challenge. You're only going to use this card either in divisions or if you get an unlimited challenge, or maybe if you use a France squad in the national team challenge. you got to look at what options you've already got. And for me personally, I'm thinking, well, I've got Davids, I've got Mateus. He's never getting in my team. The only way this guy would ever get anywhere near my team is if I do the France challenge, and I don't think it's worth picking him just for that personally. So you got to think, okay, am I looking at the other cards and am I picking Endrick? Am I picking Núñez? None of them are really appealing to me, if I'm brutally honest. So for this guy, could it be an option at right back? Possibly. I mean, I've got good options at right back, but if you're looking in your squad, you've got loads of good midfielders, but you're really lacking at right back. As a right back, you can make this guy strong enough defensively, and he's good technically. And for a right back, he's probably going to have some of the best passing of any right back in the game, to be honest. And I'll give him pinpoint crossing as well, for sure, and then maybe his man marking blocker. But like I say, if for whatever reason you don't really need a midfielder, you're not fancying Endrick, you're not feeling Darwin Núñez, if you're short of right backs, this guy could be an option. You go with a build like this, stick that shutdown booster on him. I think you can make him pretty damn nice. Just throw 1 or 2 skills into the mix, defensive ones, and maybe 3 passing pinpoint crossing. Could be a really nice, cultured attacking right back, albeit without an active playing style. But it's just an option for you. But like I say, it just depends on what you need in your squad. But you've got a bunch of ways you can use this guy out. I'll leave him on the auto allocation there. But in essence, what you got here, you got a box-to-box centre mid who, when you look around at all his attributes, he's kind of decent. It's just that passing is amazing. And if you take away some passing points and you start beefing him up elsewhere, could be a very nice one. He's tidy on the ball. Obviously got that good passing. I would definitely give him through passing. And then whether you do something a bit crazy, making a right back defensive mid attacking or winger, or whether you do something a bit more orthodox and you just make him a centre mid or defensive mid, a few different builds I've shown you there that you can do. Whether you just stick with the auto allocation, just make him amazing at passing. He could be a very interesting card to pick up. I think he's certainly one who's got more kind of different uses for him, more versatility. It's just a shame that out of the 3, this is one where there isn't a league challenge that he's really usable in. But certainly for a lot of people, I think this guy's going to be very interesting as a centre midfield, especially with that passing ability as a kind of attack-minded centre mid. But a bunch of ways you can use him, and for quite a lot of people, this could well be a very nice choice. For your 3 options for your New Year's gift, I think it's a pretty good gift, to be honest. I will always be critical of Konami and of eFootball when they do things I don't like. For example, putting 250 players in a pack like that new one, which is absolutely disgusting. But when they do something good, I think you've got to praise them, and I will. I think this is good. With that being said, for me personally, as I've mentioned once or twice in this video, it comes down to what you need and how much use you're going to get out of this guy's deep line forward. Not going to use him, not for me. Darwin Núñez, don't like the guy, can't stand him. Zaïre-Emery, pretty good card, but I just don't think he's ever going to get in my team. You know, he's not going to get in my team for any league challenges. Am I going to use him in divs? No. He's no. I've got probably at least 10 midfielders who I think are better than him. So for me personally, I'm looking at all 3 of these thinking, I don't think I really did any of them. Not much use for me at all, to be honest. But I think for the majority of people, there'll be at least 1 card in this pack that'll be really good for you. So I do think, even though it's not great for me, this is a pretty cool gift from Konami. I think Endrick, if you can find a way to make him work for you as a deep line forward, I know it's only a personal thing for me. There are people who do like the deep line forward playing style. If he works for you as a deep line forward, it could be a really fun striker, a bit of pace, decent on the ball, gonna have a very nice shot on him. And as I showed you can train him as a right wing, as an inverted winger, coming off that right flank. You give him a long range curler, depending how you build him. Could be a really, really fun one to have off that right wing as well. Núñez, it's just Núñez, except he's better in the air, and that's not to be negative about it. It is a good card. Make sure you kind of work around his limitations, because with his technical limitations, you know, when you get him on the ball, passing, his balance as well, he's going to be clunky, he's going to be uncomfortable. But with the qualities he's got, the awareness, the finishing, and the fact he's got pace and he's good in the air, could be a really nice card to pick up if his profile works for you with his his playing style and all the rest. And if you just like Darwin Núñez, could be a really good one to pick up. And then, as we just looked at, Zaïre-Emery, centre mid, defensive mid, even as a right mid or a winger, you've got a bunch of ways you can use this guy. Really nice passing. Quite interesting the way that certain attributes aren't a bit higher. Some puzzling decisions there, but on the whole, it is the best version of him that we've had. And there's a bunch of ways you could train him and use him where he could be a really good card for you. So it just depends what works for you. Just got to look at what options you've got in your squad and decide which one of these cards you're going to get the most value out of. For me personally, like I say, I don't really know which one I'm going to pick. I don't think I'm really going to use any of them a great deal. Might just go for Endrick and just crack in some manual shots from long range, to be honest. But yeah, I'll make my decision at some point. But I think it's a good gift from Konami, to be honest. So like I say, credit where it's due. I think that's pretty cool, and I think the vast majority of people in the player base are going to find at least 1 card in this pack that'd be great for them. So pretty cool freebie that. Options for your free Showtime card. Let me know who you've chosen. I'll be interested to know. Tomorrow, I don't think we're getting a Player of the Week pack. I think most people are expecting we're going to get one of those Encore Player of the Week packs, because it looks like there's no live update or maintenance. So most likely we will get one of those Encore Player of the Week packs. If that's the case, I've reviewed all the cards already, so I won't be doing a straightforward review video. There might be other packs that they add, don't know, we'll have to wait and see, but I'm thinking tomorrow, without doing a Player of the Week review, what I might do instead, I'll just do a stream, maybe it's after lunch, UK time, and I've got a whole load of skill trainer, position trainers, and booster crafting token thingies, which I've still never done since the big update, but I've got a bunch of cards with booster slots now, so I might do some of those as well, and we can just generally chat about the game, and we can all have some group therapy about how upsetting that 250 player pack is with Bale in it. And I might even play a few matches as well. So yeah, live stream probably tomorrow. And as I said at the start, I will get the Netherlands pack review done. That will hopefully be live in the next couple of days. So thanks again for watching. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weeks. I'll see you soon.